um, I'm Adam, and this is my wife Dagmara, and
Or Daga.
or Daga. Daga is easier. We find it's easier for English-speaking people to pronounce it. I'm 30. Daga is nearly 32. We're married. We're married for 8 years. We have no children yet, right now we're in the middle of the adoption process. And we're waiting for qualification for a course for adoption, being adoption parents. Sorry. So 15 years ago, American family planted the church, and for last 15 years there was about one baptism a year. In 2017, we had 6 new members. Now there is 42 members in the church, which is it's a fast growth for Poland. If you want to serve in Poland, you have to be prepared for lack of fruit, if you want, humanly speaking, obviously. And there are 3 elders here in this church: Pastor Ben Layer, who planted the church, me as an assistant pastor, and there is another brother, Jan, who is an elder. So what we are focusing now in Siedlce is to become to have a plural eldership, established eldership with a church that will be self-sufficient, that will be able to pay rent and pay the pastor, and will be able to be mission-oriented. So that's why we started our church plant in Łuków. So we focus, we find that the best way of evangelism, spreading the gospel, is actually by private conversations, friendship. Most of the people, if they will come to church, they will come to church either through the website. They will find out something on the internet, and they will come and they will learn about the gospel. They will learn about the church, Protestantism, and then they become converted. Or through the invitation of someone from family, friends. This is the best way. The best way, because going into the streets with leaflets, for example, is just so negative. It simply does. It doesn't work. But Łuków. So we started our work in Łuków about 6 years ago. Łuków is about half an hour journey south of Siedlce, and it's twice smaller than Siedlce. It's about 35,000 people population. There is no evangelical church at all out there. So we wanted to plant a church there, and the visible fruit we actually had just last year. Yeah, when we gave 10,000 invitations to the people, through the mailboxes, and there was one response, and the lady whose name is Eva, she already had some experience with Protestants, with something that's not Catholic, because there is an Adventist church in Łuków. So she wanted to come, but she didn't know what to come to her church. But she didn't know what the time of the service. So there was a time of the service on the invitation, the leaflet. So she came, and she brought her sister. And I think Eva was converted before, but Carolina wasn't. And we worked with Carolina, and she's born again. And Carolina brought her friend, and Agnieszka, and we work with Agnieszka, and it looks like she's born again. We're getting there. There was also Elizabeth, who's wife of Tadeusz, who was attending for many years.
He was only one for the first few years.
For many years, he was the only one person who was attending regularly every Sunday. So his wife, when she was attending the services, she started to listen to we had the series on Judges, book of Judges, and it was, she told me that it was so, visible, so easy to understand, and she started to understand the gospel, and we had some conversations, and I would say that, I mean, she's born again and she's going to be baptized. And there is another, yeah, and there is another one. There is a guy named Janusz, and last week I had a very good conversation with him, and it looks like he's born again. And with all of these people, we use John Blanchard's book. I think it's called Reconciliation with God, and being made right with God, or something like this. And this is the best book, evangelistic book in Poland. Well, I think you could pray for perseverance for us, because we have to realize that it's a long journey. It's not a mission for 2 or 3 years and you plant 5 churches and see many conversions. It's just not like that in Poland. So perseverance is really important. It's funny, but also you can pray specifically for our church, for leadership, for young men, not only young, but for men who would like to take this responsibility, although they probably are not very well prepared. There is lack of theological education in Poland, and there's actually lack of desire. People don't want to be responsible for the church. They don't want to take this responsibility. So you can pray for men who would
desire.
Yeah, who would step in. They would become pastors, elders, preachers, teachers. We need everything. We need any type of leadership here. Otherwise, we will not be able to plant churches. You can preach the gospel. There are many people who understand the gospel because they've learned on the internet, but they never attend any evangelical church. So they stay disobedient to the word of God. Sometimes they stay disobedient because they have no evangelical church in their city. There is about 900 cities, and 700 there is no evangelical church at all in Poland. So you can pray for leadership, and you specifically for us, you can pray for marriage. It takes a lot of time for me to invest, and it always there is a cost in marriage of it, so you can pray for patience for us.
Then Doug, you mentioned you're going through an adoption process. Could you tell us about that? Where's that got to, and is there anything you'd like us to pray about for that?
Yes, of course. Especially then last month we had few conversations with psychologists and some tests. It was very hard emotionally, and after that was the last part of how is wstępna kwalifikacja?
Initial qualification.
Yes, so there's like first few meetings which they have with us, and it's like it took like more than a year, So it's quite long. We really need patience and understanding of this process. So we just finished after those meetings with psychologists. We just finished our first qualification, and now we are waiting for decision from them. And I don't know why they don't tell us, but we are pretty sure then probably it will not work in this place here in Siedlce, and probably we'll have to go to other adoption center to start like from the beginning again. We don't know, but we just have this feeling. Maybe it's because it was so stressful, and maybe because those people are not so open and helpful. They are just like urzędnicy.
Officers.
Yes, they are like just officers. So
Mm.
we don't feel like this is a place where they would love to help us. Maybe that's why we have so many feelings now, and we feel that it will not work. Maybe it's completely different, but definitely we have to wait again for another call. It may took like few weeks, or it may took like half a year. Just wait for call, and then if they will decide, then we are able to go to the next step. The next step will be
Course for adoption
course,
parents.
yes, for adoption parents.